Well, the psychology literature is really, really clear on this, and it's been researching it for decades. So we know that if you want to be a trustworthy leader or a trustworthy organisation, people will measure you on 4 dimensions. One is ability. Are you able to do the job well or to lead the organisation well? Second is benevolence. Are you entirely self-serving, or are you concerned about other people, other stakeholder groups within the broader community? Thirdly, integrity. Can people see some set of moral codes underpinning your decisions and your behaviours that they agree with? And fourthly is predictability. Is there a consistency to your behaviour and your approach as an organisation or as a leader that makes them believe they can trust you over time? The interesting thing about trust is that you only know when you haven't got it, when you need it. So one of the reasons trust has come to the fore at the moment is because of the financial crisis, because there are increased levels of uncertainty in society. People have been really shaken by what happened with the banks, the BP, BBC, the scandals around Jimmy Savile, etc., etc. So there's a lot of uncertainty around. Actually, there was a problem with trust before the financial crisis. There was a problem with trust in organisations before then, but in fact, the financial crisis and the other scandals that have emerged in recent years have only exacerbated the situation. And we are now in a situation where there is a lot of distrust out in society. That's a great question, because in actual fact, all the organisations that we have here today in the CRF are probably at different stages in terms of their trust and trust relationships. Some will be at the stage of creating trust, and that's all about forming good relationships between senior managers and lower levels of employees, perhaps start-up situations or acquisition or merger situations where you're creating a new sense of trust. Some will have gone through some kind of crisis which will have caused a breach of trust, and they will be in the business of repairing trust. And the actions you take to repair trust are slightly different from the actions you take to create trust. And others in the room will be in a position where they're trying to maintain or preserve trust. They're trying to avoid a breach. They're going into a situation which is potentially negative, potentially a crisis, but they're actually taking avertive action in order to try and preserve or maintain trust. And the actions that HR directors or senior managers take in those 3 stages are all entirely different.